Robin Slim Show.
Hello there, this is Honey.
Honey,
Hi.
Lauren, how are you?
Good, good. Oh my gosh, whose voice is this?
Rob.
Okay, you're Rob.
And I am
Got it.
Slim.
Yeah.
I'm Slim.
The whiny, like,
Aw.
almost prepubescent is Slim.
I don't think I'm whiny and but I can't say that word.
You've never heard that word. We just
You
talked
guys
about
sound so good.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank
So
you.
do you. So do you. Actress and writer and a cult film star from L.A., correct?
Thank you. Yes, I love that.
Cool.
Yes.
And the reason I had you on, you were pitched to me for a film you wrote and directed called Wives of the Skies, which is
Yes.
about stewardesses. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so excited about this film. And of course, we released it, and 2 weeks later there was a huge pandemic. So.
I was wondering about where it fell. I didn't know if it had been like done before the pandemic and got released. I didn't know like what time it was released.
Yeah, we finished it and posted it, and then we got into our first festival, literally 14 days before everything shut down.
Oh, no.
And I just remember being there and going, "Gosh, I think Italy's having a terrible time."
Wow! Oh, so,
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was nutty.
So out there,
Crazy time.
has filming resumed? We talked to our buddy Steve Coulter a few weeks ago, and he says he's in Georgia, and he said really not much has resumed as far as acting and all.
Yeah, there is stuff, not tons of stuff. There's more non-union stuff, which is sketchy, but even I'm just going to say the union stuff. We have something called guidelines, and they're not rules; they're just guidelines. So that's not cool. We need to have like very set rules that are solid, not that it's just a guideline if you want to test someone 3 days in advance. But
Yeah, there should
you
be set things going on
Yeah.
or whatever. But no, I want to ask too. What was what was your reason for making Wives of the Skies? Like, what got you like I got to make a film about stewardesses? And also, not to go all over the place, but it was set in 1965. Was there a reason in specific that it was set in that year?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. The airline industry, is particularly stewardesses, service industry for that has so many different phases. When stewardesses first were being used for commercial airlines, they had to be nurses, and that was in the 40s.
Oh, wow.
And so, and by the time the 60s rolled around, it was the sexy skies. Fly the sexy skies. So that was like getting people to go on airplanes because of the hot girls that, were stewardesses. And that subject matter really intrigued me a lot, actually. A guy I worked with sent me a link to, these vintage stewardess outfits that were on eBay, and they were being bought and sold and bid on at very high prices, very collectible by men. So I was like, what is this fetish? I'm intrigued.
Fetish, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what just popped in my head. Like, what? Yeah, that's a huge fetish. Wow.
Yeah, it really is. It's like this whole culture. And so that was where the seed of the idea came from. Of course, there's a lot more in the movie, as you know, but I was really fascinated by that aspect. And then when I did my research on the uniforms, the whole era was fascinating because these women, this was a time that they were to be married at this age and have children. And here these kind of brave women taking these jobs away from home, right? Mm-hmm. So they're not even at home working, but they were treated very much like rock stars. They were wearing couture, the designer outfits. They had big name designers making the stewardess uniforms like Mary Wells and Yves Saint Laurent and Pucci.
Yes.
So they got to be wearing this wonderful designer outfits, and they stayed at stewardess hotels. It was actually a very glamorous time for these women. So it was interesting. And of course, like, my background is ballet. and that's a really short life, if you're going to like dance, it's kind of over at a young age.
Yeah.
And with stewardesses, it's kind of the same in those days. By the time you're 30, you were retired.
Wow. And I want to ask too, as far as the movie goes, the uniforms they had were amazing. Were they vintage uniforms, or did you have them made just for the movie?
Thank you for asking. Yes, they were actually made by a wonderful designer her name is Stephanie Skull. Her and I worked to design a uniform together. She made it. I had to pick the colors, which got changed sort of at the last minute because of the room that I got for the hotel room was so beautifully mid-century kind of monochromatic lavenders, and I'm like, okay, the colors I originally had for a lot of the outfits I had to switch up, but they were newly made to look vintage.
That's what I did appreciate about the film. It was just the colors, everything was just dead on. I felt like the era.
Thank you. I have to tell you, we got lucky on a lot of things because especially because we're shooting in Los Angeles, so it's so expensive. So I couldn't get a real hotel room, let alone I couldn't afford to design a room like on a soundstage. That would have been ideal. I got an Airbnb that in the valley, and I looked at the pictures, and there were like 2 lavender couches, and I mean this beautiful lavender room, and then the blue wall for the kitchen area. I'm just like, whoa, this looks very vintage. And also, of course, lavender is national lesbian color. These 2 ladies, they were in love. So I thought that was a fun little thing.
That was the one thing. Like, there was so much sexuality, and at some points I'm like, I don't know where this is going. Like, where's this gonna go? But it's perfect. They're a little innocent as well as very promiscuous with the bondage. The bondage was like a major thing.
A lot of bondage.
Even the dinner, even the chicken brought out for dinner was like all tied up.
It's very funny because when people, this to me is such a G-rated film, but there's just some hardcore bondage in this movie, and the Kinbaku was really important. I had obviously a Master K did the Kinbaku or the Shibari, and that was very well rehearsed. And we went to the rope dojo before we shot to come up with design and lighting and things like that, all the important things you need.
Yes.
And also to make sure that these brave actresses were comfortable, and weren't they brave? Can you imagine? I
gotta say too, I'm not usually into blondes, but oh my god, that which one was it? Cindy is just something special.
I'm laughing so hard. Madison Bullock, okay, and Rachel Aleg. Now Madison was the blonde in real life. She's got dark hair just like Rachel, and Madison gave they both gave amazing performances.
Yes.
She looks so good in that blonde wig that, I mean, she's so iconic with that hairstyle.
Yes, that was it. The hairstyle, everything was just dead on. And I love the guys too. Oh my God, what was it? Derek and who was his camera guy?
And Kevin. Kevin. Drew Brandon Jones playing Derek, who was fantastic and sexy, I thought.
Is he a real Brit?
He's so cute because he says he always plays nerds. I'm like, well, you're James Bond now, baby.
is he a real British man, or was that an accent he did?
He's British. He's the most fascinating human being. He is English, and when he was 7, his mom and he moved to Texas. So that's pretty fascinating. But of course, his accent is very, very there. And the other wonderful actor, Sebastian Fernandez, fantastic, gives really good face. What a great face he has, and he did a wonderful job too.
Yeah.
So
he was just obviously just brought
cast.
on. He wasn't like Derek tried being like, this is my camera guy, but it was just so obvious. He just met this guy on the street and was like,
yes!
Hold this camera while I go up and do this documentary.
He met him like in the lobby of the Stewardess Hotel. Hey, got some girls up here.
That's what I was asking where the hotel was, because that hotel was gorgeous. That elevator elevator, when it showed going up, I was like, this is like definitely a vintage hotel. I didn't know where it was set.
Well, you know, of course, we didn't shoot in a hotel. That was actually stock footage that we bought.
Okay.
And if you look very closely in there, it looks like there are stewardesses in the elevators. So we were like, yes! It was very hard to find the elevators. And in fact, we were going to do an elevator shot and create an elevator, but it didn't happen. We didn't need it.
Yeah.
And the lobby was actually the famous Montalban Theater in Hollywood, which is like from the 20s. And we were able to use their upstairs lobby, and we just got in there and we transformed it into a stewardess hotel lobby.
Wow.
So, and we shot it. We did a lot of tricks with it to make it look a lot bigger than it was. We had to angle it this way and that just to... Oh, we cheated. Let's just put it that way. And my wonderful cinematographer, Davey Robertson, boy, is he good. He really... He did his job so well.
He did.
Oh.
I love hearing that. I felt like it was all just a real location. Like, I love that. It was just so well done. So well done, honey.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, you know, I was very lucky to get that hotel again. Madison, who you like, the blonde, she was also a producer on the film, and she was instrumental in booking the Montalban for us. Oh, cool. So lucky us that we had her, and it worked. You know, we pulled it off. I was just like, whoa, thank God, because it's really hard to get a hotel, let alone a mid-century, looking hotel.
Yes.
In LA.
Yes.
So expensive.
What was one of your favorite moments making the film?
Well, I'll tell you, probably when Madison was hopping across the room. To me, that was like the absolute funniest moment for me. That was my favorite moment.
Yes.
We had already figured that out in rehearsal at the rope studio, but when she was so dazzling to look at in that red rope on the blue dress,
yes,
just so beautiful. I was so stunned, just like, oh my God, it hurts my eyes to look. And that was such a great moment. I just was when I watched her hopping, we knew that was happening. Yeah. I was like, okay, we got something here.
I love too when she was like, look how this outfit doesn't rise up, and she like leaned over, she bent over. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, that's real stuff, Back in the day with these outfits, they had a special fabric that actually had this staying power so that when they bend over, it wouldn't ride up the back. Or when they pour drinks, we tried this on camera, but we ended up cutting this little part. But when she poured drinks, the sleeves would inch up just enough as to not graze the top of the glass as she would serve and pass a drink.
Wow.
So we were able to do that effect, but we weren't able to. It was just that was the longest scene on the planet, just so you know. The uniform scene.
Oh, where can we see that? I want the outtakes. I want or the director's cut.
Yeah. So funny. So all those things were real. That was like a real thing that they had hats that were cooling. So, oh my gosh, I got to tell you one other quick story. There was Braniff Airlines has a video that's called the Strip Tease, and as they would reach higher altitudes, the stewardesses would peel off their outfits so that they might start off with like 3 layers and just end up in a tiny miniskirt or something with a little top.
Wow.
It's called the Isn't that crazy?
Why did this go away?
Yeah, where are these flights?
I want to fly, and I don't usually fly anyway. I'm just going to fly somewhere and fly back. Like what?
Somewhere slim?
Why did this disappear?
Hilarious.
Do you know, though?
I'm telling you, it was such a crazy culture.
I'm curious, do you know why that changed or why that went away?
Yeah, sex sells. That was definitely like a sex symbol, the stewardesses.
Yeah.
I feel like
nowadays they could never get away with it.
And I feel like there was a guy that like, why can't I do that too? And right. it started.
Yeah.
A certain movement.
Or somebody that was like, oh, you're objectifying women.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now it'd be just like, you can't do that. But it's funny because on my Instagram I have a lot of stewardess following me, and they're all very, very sexy girls. They're just really into it. It's every picture is a sex picture. I'm like, thank you for that. Okay, thank you for that. It's really funny. And in fact, I don't even think we're allowed to say stewardess anymore, are we? It's flight attendant.
I was thinking steward. Yeah, you totally nailed it. Yeah, I think that's the term.
Yeah, because they're kind of like boring now, right? There's nothing about them that stands out. They just give you
like a pantsuit. Yeah,
that's true. It's a whole different world now. You could actually
bring your kids.
Be an older gal and be a flight attendant now. So thankfully they can keep their jobs past 28 or whatever.
That's kind of a good thing. Yeah. They'll still make that money. And I feel like it's fun going all different places, if you are one of them. Like, it's got to be cool. I don't know, though.
Yeah.
I feel like one time if I hit turbulence, I would just be like, I'm not doing this ever again. I'm going to work at Kmart.
Oh my God! Well, I will say, I think that flight attendants are brave people. It is hard doing that job.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I'm always exhausted when I take an airplane. I'm like, God, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Even if it was just an hour flight, I'm like, oh, this is exhausting.
And you're just like, every day you're like probably thinking like, is the plane gonna go down?
Yeah.
Is it gonna get hijacked? Like,
if I'm just going on that flight, I'm like, oh my God, I could die here.
Every time I've been on a plane, that stuff has gone through my mind. So being a flight attendant's got to be like,
they're doing it three times a day. Yeah.
Is this going to be it?
How could they not? Yeah. I mean, you have to be like almost psychotic not to think it. I mean, that's crazy. Of course you're going to think it.
Especially in the 60s.
I know every time I'm on a plane, especially when I see like a big guy sitting next to me starting to cry because of the turbulence, I'm like, we're all screwed.
I feel like the 60s, like you were just getting the pilot right out of the bar. Like he'd been in the bar the whole time.
The bar
like,
inside the cockpit, for sure. Oh my God, that is hilarious. Yeah, there's her. Man, do you remember they used to like drink and they used to smoke on airplanes?
Yeah, I never flew in those days, but yeah, I just remember even in the 90s, like in the malls, they were still smoking.
Yes. Well, certainly, I think in the 90s, I could be wrong, but I know that I'm pretty sure that they were smoking on airplanes too.
I think so.
Seems just,
you're right.
Yeah.
It seems terrible. It's like, this is a tiny plane.
Yeah.
Look.
Anything that goes wrong could set this whole thing off. But yeah, you could smoke. Light up.
Yeah, go for it.
Now it's like they don't even want they don't even want your cell phone on. Like
your cell phone could make everything blow up. Oh, geez.
Oh my God, things have changed a lot.
Yeah,
they really have. Oh wow,
honey, do you have any upcoming projects that you could tell us about?
Well, yes. First, I have to tell people listening that they can see Wives of the Skies on Prime. So please go watch it and tell me what you think. That would be so awesome. And then in 2 weeks, I have a feature coming out that I play the title role in. It's called Sweet Taste of Souls. It's I'm an actor also, so I did not direct this one or write it, but I was lucky to be able to be in it, and that's going to be on all the different platforms, video on demand, all of those platforms. And it's sort of a thriller. They call it a social thriller. There is a horror element to it, and they're just the nicest people to work with. We shot it in Julian, California, which is a mountain village near San Diego, in that area. So anyway, it's pretty, it's kind of cool that it's got this great kind of mountain country feel. And so that's coming out in November 1st. So that's exciting. And also I have another movie coming out. I'm not sure when, but sometime in the early part of 2021. And that's called Lila. And again, another thriller, and wonderful director named Gordon Cowie. So he's really going to be somebody, I decided. He's so good. He's just, his eye is so good.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's exciting. Yeah, thank you for asking. I really appreciate it. I do.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
It's been a blast talking, honey. Where can everybody find you?
Aww. Thank you. I'm sorry. Oh, the phone went out.
Where can everybody find you?
Oh, yes. Oh, sure. I am at Honey Lauren on Instagram, or Honey Lauren on Facebook, or let's see, I think it's at Honey Gay on Twitter.
Yes.
And yeah, Honey Gay, because Gay is my middle name, so easy to remember.
Cool.
Yeah, so they can find me there, of course, and message me through IMDb or any of those places. So, and also, Wives of Skies has a Facebook page and an Instagram page as well.
Does it? Because I tried searching on Facebook earlier, and it's just I didn't search in the search bar on Facebook, but I tried just tagging when I put out our lineup for interviews. I'll put the @ sign, and then I'll type in the name, and it didn't bring anything up. And Facebook is just weird when I tried tagging things. So I didn't know if there was a Facebook page.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I have trouble tagging my own page. I know. I'm just like, what is this? Sometimes it comes right up, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Facebook is so funny like that.
Yes.
Although I must say it's the new, TV for me. But it's like everything I've ever learned growing up, I learned from TV. I feel like everything I'm learning now is from Facebook. I don't think that's a good thing.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
It could be a great thing.
I know. Maybe it's perfect. Oh my gosh. Well, you guys need to stay safe where you are.
You too, honey. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to talk to you both. Thank you for having me.
No problem. And when the show goes up, I will send you all the links to the full show and the individual interview.
Oh, I'd love it, and I'll post away. That would be so amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you. Have a good night and stay safe.
Oh, thank you. You too, both of you as well. Take care.
Take care.